In this video, we continue going through the questions from the previous year of the International Economics Olympiad finance questions, and we're going to tackle two questions, question 6 and question 7. They're very similar in their spirit and their topic and in what they're testing. They're testing understanding of how financial systems help us transfer resources through time. So there are going to be two mutually kind of counter there are going to be two processes, compounding and discounting. And they're going to be compounding is going to be bringing money forward in time. Discounting is the reverse of that, is going to be bringing money back in time. So what I like about these questions is that they teach you the importance of having financial instruments, financial system that is well functioning. That allows us as individuals, as investors, to bring resources from the states when we have the money. For example, in question 7, we're going to have the money today, but we will need the money in 3 years' time. So from states when we have resources to the states where we need resources. The simplest way to think about it is time, so time dimension. Once you study more the role of the financial system, you will realize that it's not only the time dimension that financial markets help us bridge, but also the states of the economy. So, for example, we can insure ourselves against bad outcomes by buying flood protection insurance or unemployment insurance, for example, insures individuals from the downside risk of losing a job, right? So what insurance does in that sense is takes resources from the individuals from good states where the realizations are good, where they pay premiums, and pays them, so brings those resources to the states where they lose, something negative happens, okay? So that's like a next level idea, but essentially the same transfer of resources from some states where they're abundant to those states where they're lacking. Okay, so but the easiest, I think, way to start thinking about that role of the financial system is to look at the question of saving, so compounding and discounting. Okay, so let's tackle that with the question number 6. So we have an investment that needs to yield 16,000 in 3 years' time. So again, we are the span of time that we're going to be looking at is 3 years, and our discount rate, our rate at which we transfer resources through time is going to be 10%. Okay, so when I look at questions like that, I always like to start with the line that helps me understand where exactly the timing of the cash flows happens. So I have 1, 2, 3 years, okay? And at the end of the 3 years, I need to have 16,000, okay? So at the rate of 10%, I'm gonna transfer it through 3 periods back. So that's discounting. So in this direction, I'm gonna transfer it 3 times. And therefore, the formula for the present value over here as of date 0 is 16,000 divided by 1.1. So that's 1 plus 10% to the power 3. Okay, so during the Olympiad, there was a typo in this question, and the closest answer was D, but it wasn't exactly. So the exact answer is just a couple of digits off. So it's $12,021.40. Okay, so so if you do the calculation, so this was the closest one, but the actual answer is $12,021.04. Okay, so here, what did we do? We found resources, amount of resources, 16,000 in 3 years from now, and through discounting, calculate how much we need to put into bank today to have the desired outcome. Once again, the transition rate was 10%. Okay, so the next question is a variation on that same problem of compounding and discounting, but with a kind of slightly little bit different flavor. So what we have here is 2 rates. At one rate at which we're going to compound and the separate rate at which we're going to discount. Okay, so let's start again with a timeline. And in this case, our timeline will have 2 processes going in the opposite direction. So at date 0, we know how much the vacation costs. It costs 18,000. Okay, so the actual vacation is going to take place. This is 1, this is 2. this is 3, this is 4 in 4 years from now. Okay, so the rate at which the travel prices increase in this economy is 3%. Okay, so inflation is never homogeneous. Some certain categories of spending grow faster than average, some grow slower than average. This is the kind of the nature of what the word average means, right? So in this particular case, the inflation for the specifically the cost of the trip is 3%. Okay, so this 18,000, we're going to compound at the rate of 3% for 4 years. So at the end of the 4th year, when we exactly need to actually pay and undertake the trip will cost 18,000 times 1.03 to the power 4. Okay, so we calculated future value. Okay, now that's helpful and useful for us. That's step number 1. But what we actually after is how much money we need to put into the bank today. That gives us a return of 5.5%. Okay, so typically saving rates never beat inflation, but once again, the inflation we deal with here is a very particular type of inflation. It's not really the general inflation or the average basket inflation, just particular, very small type. So in this case, it's not very unusual that the inflation for that item is actually below the savings rate. Okay, so savings rate, the one that we're going to discount this back at, is 5.5%. So to calculate how much money I need to put in my savings account at the beginning of the year 0 to get the 4 years worth of interest compounding is going to be this amount of money. This is my target amount of money I need. So I'm going to take this. So 18,000 times 103 to the 4, that's with inflation increase. And I'm going to discount it by 0.55 to the power 4. And I have here calculated this expression for you, rounded to the nearest dollar, which gonna give me 16,354. Okay, so 16,354, this is answer number B. So once again, so what I want you to take out of those questions is the role of compounding, taking money from periods today to the future states, and discounting, essentially finding the equivalence of how much money in the future are worth today. So those two processes are essentially mirror image of each other, and they highlight the importance, the role of the financial system in helping investors transfer resources from the states when they have them, for example, today, to when we actually will need to use them, for example, in a few years from now when we undertake this vacation.